Good evening, I'm Dan Rather, and tonight on CBS News.
In a shocking development, the federal government says being broke is allowed, but if you're broke and glowing, you are officially now a suspect.
You can't be glowing more than your financial status. Look your problem.
Producers have confirmed next season of Love Island will merge with the Hunger Games. Only one couple will survive the new format. Everyone else dies.
Senator Buck Nutley has unveiled his Big Girthy bill, a new proposal meant to rival the Big Beautiful bill. But does size really matter?
Good evening. This is White Liberal News. You can't spell liberal without liar. We know it's difficult to maintain an army of midwits without setting off all of the lunatics. For more, we go to our favorite professor with Lindsay.
Thanks, Karen. I'm at the university to get talking points from Professor 𝐶, and also my hair is like multicolored now. But the professor isn't here. He's still totally missing.
Well, I thought that's the story we were doing. You thought it was, and Professor 𝐶 isn't around. This seems like men letting us down as usual.
Last time I saw him, we talked about some feminist stuff. Then he invited me to his house for the next interview. I told my brothers, who were very excited to meet him, and they're usually uninterested in my work at White Liberal News. And I get it because they're straight white men and they're Christian, but sometimes I don't get it because, like, I don't even hate my dad like others at White Liberal News tell me I should.
Well, as a liberal woman, even though the task isn't complete, we will reward you anyway because equity. The robber made off with 8 packs of Newports and $300. The gas station cashier is morally superior and refused to give a description of the suspect. To remind our viewers how much they should hate their own country, we go to a foreign-born politician.
They're on to us. We need to leave now. Everyone, grab what you can.
We apologize. This may not be a good time, but are you able to push some of the messaging or...
Karen, I really cannot talk right now. I just want to reiterate that my country is much better than the USA. I hate it here.
Well, thanks for your time. We can hopefully arrange another time for you to bash the country that gave you opportunities people born here don't even have.
We need to go now. Almost done.
Really? Already? Do I look ready for a new Latinx weather reporter?
Well, President Trump announcing 2 new luxury visa programs, a gold card and a platinum card. The gold card will cost $1 million for individuals and $2 million for companies. It will allow foreign nationals to get U.S. residency, quote, in record time. And the $2 million corporate card is transferable from one employee to another. Now, the platinum card is going to cost $5 million and will allow foreign nationals to spend 270 days in the U.S. without paying taxes on their overseas income. Now, currently, of course, we all know that U.S. citizens and residents have to pay taxes on their U.S. and their foreign income. Foreigners who are here for more than 183 days during a 3-year period that uses a special IRS formula. They, too, are currently subject to tax on overseas income. The Platinum Card, however, will extend that time period to about 9 months. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick saying that the new $100,000 H-1B fee, gold card, platinum card, all expected to generate $100 billion in revenue. That's going to be used to lower taxes and pay down debt. Now, the gold card will replace the EB-1 and EB-2 programs. We have yet to hear, initially they said this would replace the EB-5 program, which is very popular and costs $1 million and requires you to create at least 10 jobs. But if people can pay the same amount and not have a job requirement, which is what the gold card is, that will be a lot more attractive.
The shocking trend of Labubu violation continues as more and more people are finding their dolls' holes stretched wide open and reeking of shame.
If you thought Bigfoot was bad, wait till you meet his gooey cousin. A kumsquatch was just spotted in Dongwood National Forest.
Did you know IKEA has released a home glory hole kit called the Fuke Hole? It includes pre-drilled panels, mounting brackets, and a stain-proof finish. We begin with breaking news out of Massachusetts, where residents are reeling from what scientists are calling a cum-comet impact.
Officials are asking everyone to stay indoors and to wear N95 masks in case of cum aerolization.
President Trump kicking off another busy week.
He calls his reflection fake news. He tried to pardon himself from Monopoly jail. He once tried to buy the moon. Great real estate, nobody lives there. He autographs subpoenas before reading them. He holds rallies in front of mirrors so the crowd is always double tremendous. His hair has its own non-disclosure agreement. He insists, if I was on Mount Rushmore, it would be called Trumpmore. So many people are saying this. His skin tone was invented in a Doritos lab.
So, Keisha, what's a high-value man to you?
A man that gave me 10 kids, 3 evictions, $10 on Cash App, and still pull up in a Nissan Altima that sound like he got...
Good evening, I'm Tom Tucker with some breaking news. A local kidnapping has rocked Quahog tonight. Rocked Quahog? Really? The whole town is the family, maybe, is rocked, but the whole... All right, well, in any event, we now go live to Asian reporter Tricia Takanawa. Let's see how much she's rocked by all this. Tricia?
Tom, I'm standing here with Mayor Adam West with the latest information about the disappearance of young Scotty Jennings. What can you tell us, Mr. Mayor?
Please, Mr. Mayor is my father. Call me John Mayor. Your body is a wonderland, by the way.
What is the city doing to help rescue the missing boy?
Well, we're looking for this child using all the latest technology, including the newest, most advanced multimedia milk cartons.
Help me, I'm missing! Help! Why are you still eating breakfast? I'm kidnapped! Why are you turning me the other way? I'm still here!
Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
I didn't know they were here already, but you think I would have chosen this outfit. Welcome back to White Liberal News. We won't suddenly claim we're not left because we are not giant like Miss Now. We know most of our audience has no true interaction with Latinx on a regular basis. Otherwise, you would have never said Latinx. Thanks to our Mexican correspondents, we have a plethora of options for our new weather reporter. So we will need audience feedback. Keep in mind, no reporter is illegal. The winner will allow our viewers to have diversity vicariously. The losers can pick crops, as the Democrat Party reminds us. Too much? What's too much? What's too much? That dig at Miss Now? You see what they're doing, right? Okay, fine. I'll take it off. But I'm not going to tone down anything else. They need to know I'm the HBIC. We thank our applicants. We only want feedback from the leftiest liberals possible. If you've ever successfully bench pressed your weight, we don't want to hear your opinion. Join us next time when we interview cultures that had thousands of years of a head start, but got colonized by total noobs.
Welcome to the Black News Network. I'm your host, OG Dimebag Slime. Tonight's story, a gender reveal turns violent when local Bloods open fire on the party after blue confetti is released. Chaos erupted at the Glockton's backyard gender reveal when the cannon popped blue, indicating a baby boy. The husband's side of the family, all Bloods, immediately sprung into action by lighting that bitch up. During the scuffle, some of the confetti floated into a neighboring yard, causing additional shots to be popped off in that direction. Fortunately, no Henny was spilled during the ordeal.
One of trying to make it to work without yelling at a pedestrian. Pray for me, y'all. Still alive. Still unemployed. But baby, I look G-O-D doing it. Oh my God. I'm not even late. I'm just dramatic. Y'all know I will risk it all for a good melon.
That male loser, at least you can fathom him having a wife at some point. Tim Walz, on the other hand, looks like he cries in bed after the deed. Good evening. This is White Liberal News, reminding you of what the left was when we had all the power and funding. Suddenly, groups that use violence to instill fear for political goals are a bad thing. For more on that, we go to our body positive hire.
Thanks, Karen. Thank you for this opportunity, too.
Colette, but you don't have to thank me every time. Let's just... Okay.
This has been like my dream since the first episode I watched and ordered Popeye's chicken.
We have a lot of anti-American messaging to get through today.
Okay, so I found some people who are about to ignite a mostly peaceful protest against this restaurant owner for saying silence isn't violence.
We know words have no point other than to be used for power. So we changed the name of how we define things.
I don't know what that even means.
It's a concept only smart people like us can get. Basically, we make up our own definitions and terms. Yeah.
Like how woman doesn't mean adult human female, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, we see a 70-year-old man and we have the numbers.
Oh.
We are going to confront his
Colette?
fascism. One moment.
Could you explain why they're attacking a senior citizen?
Karen, they're fighting fascism against an old man who was wearing a Cincinnati Reds baseball cap. They tell me luckily it was 2-on-1, otherwise fascism would win.
That makes sense. He's wearing a red hat. Nothing about this behavior should make us reflect even a little.
So the dictator says Antifa is a terrorist group. So we changed our name to BISIS. Boom. Problem solved.
The name is to honor the group that feels the same way we do about this country and to insert our sexuality into everything because that's what leftists have to do.
Karen, I'm not as educated as other liberals. I still think it's a crime to burn down a restaurant, so I'm going to leave before their protest begins. Back to you, Karen.
Thanks for the coverage, Colette. Now we go to a rich white actor who is brave enough to speak out in the way 95% of the industry speaks out.
Hey, John, would y'all let me fly the plane to Iran? I thought B2 was my apartment number. Oh my God, did I just start the war?
Introducing ChatEBT, the newest AI software limited only to 13% of people. ChatEBT isn't just another basic AI myth. It's built for real-life situations. Let's showcase an example of a man asking for food recommendations.
I'm starving, gang. Let's open ChatEBT. What should I eat tonight?
ChatEBT is fully aligned with real-time data, giving you the most accurate, up-to-date definitions anywhere.
Define child support.
Unless you ask it to define child support. But ChatEBT isn't just about words or recommendations now. It helps with your everyday tasks and repairs, giving you the best solutions in real time. Here's an example.
Dude, this thing is so annoying, man. ChatEBT, how do I fix this?
You don't, Nick. Thank you all for your time today. We're excited for you to experience the future with ChatEBT. We'll see you soon.
Yo, what's up, guys? We back, man. I'm feeling a little bit better. Man, we got a pretty good show lined up. Yo, salute to the chat, Irvin. Hello to Brooklyn. Yo, Theo in the building. And salute to Universal Black, already with the super chat supporting the stream. All right, man, a lot of stuff happened in 24 hours, man. Let's, Theo, this one, Universal Black with the $5 super chat. Let's do this drop. But Theo, I think you like this drop too. This is AI and the video edits is crazy. This one's Star Trek and The Sopranos.
Transfer complete. USS Enterprise now under command of Captain Tony Soprano.
Now get the out of here. Captain's log. I'm currently trying to change my business profile, if you know what I mean. There's the money. You're supposed to be earners. That's why you got the top tier positions. So each one of you crack some heads, create some earners out there.
I do not understand.
Oh, nobody knows what the I'm talking about.
Sir, the Federation...
I don't want to hear about the economy either. I don't want to hear it. What about impulse control? Nothing's been done about that.
And afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger. Namely, this is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is...
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. Fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. Fuck all you hoes. Man, fuck all you hoes.
All right, bet. Let's start off with the government shutdown. I've been watching it, seeing what's going on. I wanted to see if the Democrats was really going to go all the way to the wall with it and let it shut down. So they did, and I still think that's a win for Trump because he could fire mad people.
Morning, the federal government officially shutting down at midnight last night after Democrats and Republicans failed to strike an agreement to keep government funded through November. Fox Business's Madison Alworth live in Washington right now with the very latest. Madison.
Good morning, Maria. Yes, the government officially shut down this morning at 12 a.m., marking the first federal government shutdown in almost 7 years. The shutdown came after both Republicans and Democrats failed to pass their own respective versions of the bill on the Senate floor, with Republicans attempting to pass a 7-week clean continuing resolution. That needed 60 votes to pass, but instead failing by a 55 to 45 vote, with Senators John Fetterman, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Angus King joining with Republicans to vote for the legislation. Kentucky Republican Rand Paul voted against his colleague's bill. Senate Majority Leader John Thune expressed hope that more Democrats would defect.
All it takes is a handful of Democrats to join Republicans to pass the clean, nonpartisan funding bill that's in front of us. And I really hope, that some of them will join us to reopen the government, resume bipartisan appropriations work, and get back to the business of the American people.
Republican leadership added that they believe there are more Democrats who are uncomfortable with the shutdown and would eventually vote to end it. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, however, claimed that Democrats were never invited to the negotiating table, calling it a partisan bill.
Their bill, they call it clean, we call it totally partisan. There was no input from Democrats. Not a single line in their bill had input from Democrats. They never consulted us. Thune didn't consult me. Johnson didn't consult Hakeem. And the bottom line is that we had a partisan bill.
Schumer did visit the White House Monday with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries to meet and negotiate with the president. And Trump has said that a lot of federal workers could permanently lose their jobs if an agreement is not reached soon. Currently, about 550,000 federal workers will go on furlough now that the government has shut down. The Senate will be back later this morning to try to come to an agreement. Maria?
All right, Madison, we'll be watching all of that. Thank you. Madison Allworth joining us. So, Ashley Davis, how do you see it? Federal workers will most likely get paid on October 5th for the last 2 weeks in September, but they're not going to get a paycheck on October 20th for the 2 weeks of October work.
Absolutely. They will get paid afterwards. And I think that's important once the shutdown's over. Listen, I don't like this at all. These are just political messages more than anything. But I think there's one major thing that we need to make sure that our viewers know, Maria, is that the entitlement programs will still be paid. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, TSA will still work. FEMA still will work. And so I think there's going to be a lot of fear mongering, but I think it's important that everyone knows that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and I spoke with U.S. Ambassador Jameson Greer yesterday at the New York Economic Club, and he said, look, I've got about 250 people around me, and we're going to be operating. So regardless of a shutdown, we're there in the U.S. Trade Representative's office. So there are offices that are ongoing regardless of this.
Well, shockingly, there have been 21 other government shutdowns since 1975. And they always get resolved. Sometimes they're ugly, but they do get resolved. And Republicans always blame Democrats, and Democrats always blame Republicans, because that's how the game is played. Sadly, Maria, for those of us who do work and continue to work and aren't in government, it almost seems like shutdowns, that's how business gets done in Washington.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Well, I mean, look, they're calling it a Schumer shutdown because Chuck Schumer, they say, wanted a fight, wanted a shutdown because he's afraid to agree with the Republicans, because the last time he agreed with the Republicans, he was worried about a primary from AOC. But John Fetterman joined me on Sunday, and he was real clear. He was one of the few Democrats who actually voted to keep the government open. And here's why. Here's what he said. Watch.
It is always, always wrong to shut our government down. That is a core responsibility. I'm always going to vote against those things. And if it's the Republican side or now it's our side, especially with the kinds of chaos that we are facing after Kirk, now there's a Cat 5 storm that might hit our nation too. Now, and you're willing to threaten us down. I was the only Democrat voting against that. And now that CR was the same CR from the Biden administration as well too.
Right.
For me, I'm a big believer of, if you want to change the policies, win elections. And that's really the way democracy works.
And that is why John Fetterman voted to keep the government open. Now, what do you think about Senator Mike Rounds' idea? Senator Rounds is out with an idea, Republican from South Carolina, that would see those subsidies extended for 1 year. And that would be then followed by a 1 year phase down to return the tax credits to pre-COVID levels. Look, you can't say we want to get back to pre-COVID spending and then just say, look, we want the subsidies back in there.
Absolutely. Look, those subsidies are going to be worked out, Maria, and that's going to happen probably in a year-end package. It's not going to happen now. It's too difficult. And unfortunately, it doesn't need to happen right this minute, which is what Republicans are saying. I feel, though, that there are going to be a lot of Republicans that are never going to agree with these subsidies. I mean, they are Obamacare and they are difficult, but we're definitely not going to go back to what they're also asking for, which is to go back on the Medicaid cuts that we made with the one big beautiful bill.
And the illegals.
For the illegals.
Yeah, spot on, Irvin Reed. You said this isn't the first time the folks act like it's the end of the world. It's political pandering to set a narrative to get one's way, cut the pork, stop the BS, and get back to work. And that's exactly what why they're shutting it down. Schumer and Jeffries came through last minute after the initial resolution was passed, and they're basically trying to put. I think I talked about this the other day, trying to add all of the spending that was cut with regard to giving health care to illegal migrants, and also trying to get additional money to send to the states, which they can then siphon off back into the different nonprofits and circumvent the PBS funding being cut, etc. They basically added a some money laundering pork for the Democrats, essentially. Hold on, I got another comment. Yeah, no news. It said Democrats, well, exactly. Democrats are always fear mongering. They actually have no policy. Their entire policy is be very afraid, be very, very afraid.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Let's here, I want to do let me just follow up on this one because what Irvin Reed said about pandering and how it's politics as usual. This is why Trump is a friggin' boss. Because he knows it's that way, so he's just going to make fun of everything. He's been trolling with these memes. It's crazy. Yo, Trump be really watching social media, man. He get in on it. Y'all seen him freaking out over this. He got Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero. Meaning and they're kind of calling racist, but he's trying to say, Hakeem's basically fighting for money for him and Schumer fighting for money for the illegal immigrants, not for Americans. This shit is hilarious.
Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore, even Latinos. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Yo, that shit is brilliant. Trump didn't make that joint, but he got sense enough to know where the funny shit is. And the AI overdub is crazy because this basically breaks down the entire Democrat policy. I'm going to play that again from the top.
Sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore, even Latinos. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
That was hilarious, man.
Hold on, I will play some more of old boy Righteous Perspective right now. I'll be trying to do these black content creators be making political content. He's got does he over 500,000 subscribers? Well, let me go a couple of these comments. Nonu said, not gonna lie, I pissed one time the government I'm pissed. One time the government shut down because I didn't get paid on active duty. USAA and Navy Fed helped out. Brother Zeke said, it happened more than a few times. Society is too easily frightened and way too coddled and comfortable. And well, spot on. And we're going to get to, that's going to bring us to Pete Hegseth's speech to the generals because I agree with him wholeheartedly. And it's a good show of force. He's calling the generals fat. That shit was funny. Democrats have picked the absolute worst time to ask the American public to trust them. Noni said, are the Democrats trying? Yep, they're trying to codify what was taken from USAID. They should have learned by now. Hell yeah. He said sombrero go hard in the Mexican restaurants as your birthday. That's funny as hell. Yo, what up, Detroit? What up with you, Playboy? It's a good time, good chance for me to play my new Sopranos Star Trek drop.
Transfer complete. USS Enterprise now under command of Captain Tony Soprano.
Now get the out of here. Captain's log. I'm currently trying to change my business profile, if you know what I mean. There's the money. You're supposed to be earners. That's why you got the top tier positions. So each one of you crack some heads, create some earners out there.
I do not understand.
Oh, nobody knows what the I'm talking about.
Sir, the Federation...
I don't want to hear about the economy either. I don't want to hear it. What about impulse control? Nothing's been done.
Oh, that shit is hilarious, bro. That shit is hilarious. No dude said, bro, I saw a few clips, and the left were going ballistic. Never mind, they've called him Nazi, racist, orange, and now they can't take him through. Yeah, it's a Tony Soprano Star Trek mashup. I saw that, Joe. I was like, man, that is hilarious, bro. You say, guess what? I don't know. Guess what, Machismo? I don't know. Guess what? Oh, man. Yeah, Worf about that action. Let's play a little bit more of this. I think I'm going to pivot to the Hegseth.
But of course, I'm sure you guys know what came from that, right? Can somebody cue the outrage for me? Enter Hakeem Jeffries, or should we just call him Timu Barack Obama? Should we just call him that from now on? Who demanded the president say it to my face and called the video racist and fake. Take a look at this, man.
They'll see it in other ways. It's easy to find, but it is absolutely disgusting in every way. It is a lie. It's the man you met with has now lied about what you said after that meeting. Could you give us your reaction to that Trump posted video tonight?
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican.
He's fighting to protect the health care of illegal aliens. This isn't even a party. I mean, screw black people aside. This just isn't even a party for the American populace in general. And I mean, honestly, I just don't get it. I guess so much foreign money and whatnot is coming through to support these guys' political careers. They feel like they don't need to do anything as a party for the American people, and they need to divert American tax dollars to communities and to initiatives that in no way serve the general American populace. Man, I hope they get routed thoroughly in the midterms, and that they can't win an election for the next 20 years.
So, on all the things, Medicaid, Medicare, the Affordable Care Act, Republicans
sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore, even Latinos. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they...
Well, you know what? Let me roll that back. That is exactly it. We do know what. They just said it in an AI clip, and we've actually made that argument. I guess I was just ranting. Yeah, they need new voters. That's why they're trying to give all this money to them. They can't win as a party.
They can vote for us. They can't even speak English. So they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Say what you want about Trump, man. Say what you want about him. But this president has mastered triggering the left. He's mastered it. The irony, though, is that Democrats call his antics beneath them and then rush the microphones to amplify everyone, right? I mean, if it's childish, just ignore it. If it's childish, if you deem it childish, just ignore it. Why bring attention to it? Some people hadn't even seen the clip yet, and they decided, hey, what is it? Oh, let me go check this out. So if it was childish, hey, ignore it. If it's serious, counter with policy. But instead, they just fake outrage, fuel the spotlight, and lose the message war. Case in point, Hakeem Jeffries on CNN whining about Trump, only for Abby Phillips to roll the very clip of Trump trolling him. You guys got to see this, man. I mean, goodness gracious. He is an easy target. Easy target.
President Trump just moments ago
posted pictures from your meeting in the Oval Office where he, I guess, apparently tried to hand you Trump 2028 hats. Then he posted another video, an AI video of you in a sombrero once again. This time he's in the background.
Oh,
You
man.
see it, the audience can see it there, as a mariachi band. I mean, I think the question I have for you is, do you think that this is even a White House, a president that cares to negotiate in good faith at all? Because it sounds like this meeting that you had this week has only resulted in trolling and not in any serious conversations.
Hey, the clip is pure political theater. Jeffries, visibly uncomfortable, visibly not happy, is forced to watch the very video that he came to denounce. I mean, a perfect snapshot.
Yo, yo, she played him. That is hilarious. Storm said, "You bet Elon gave him some ideas." Yeah, Elon's pretty good at the trolling too, man. Yo, that shit is hilarious. Yo, salute Storm. What did you say? You had some other joint up in here. Yeah, Vance been trolling him all day. Vance is hilarious too. They're calling this sombrero gate. These memes are hilarious. I might do a meme compilation. Speaking of memes, yo, Storm, you seen the Star Trek Sopranos drop?
Transfer complete. USS Enterprise now under command of Captain Tony Soprano.
Now get the out of here. Captain's log. I'm currently trying to change my business profile, if you know what I mean. There's the money. You're supposed to be earners. That's why you got the top tier positions. So each one of you crack some heads, create some earners out there.
I do not understand.
Oh, nobody knows what the I'm talking about.
Sir, the Federation...
I don't want to hear about the economy either. I don't want to hear it. What about
it? Yo, we got two big AI segments I actually want to get through tonight. We have the 40-minute mark. Let's play some more of this. Let's jump into Pete Hegseth, and then I want to jump into these AI segments. We did two AI segments previously, and we actually went over the we did AI and crypto, and then we actually went over these Stargate data centers being put up. But one of the segments I have is about AI and China with an interview with Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google. And it actually speaks to some of the stuff that Theo will be talking about. So I actually want to cover that while it's fresh. That's I think that's within the last 24 hours, that news segment. Let's play some more of this.
Of the Democrats' dilemma. How do you fight an opponent who thrives on, provocation? Trump's strategy, it's simple: provoke, distract, dominate. And every time Democrats call it beneath them,
what you want to see it again?
Reinforce his narrative. But the bigger issue is...
Oh, you want to see that drop again? Hold on, let me play it one more time.
Transfer complete. USS Enterprise now under command of Captain Tony Soprano.
Now get the out of here. Captain's log. I'm currently trying to change my business profile, if you know what I mean. There's the money. You're supposed to be earners. That's why you got the top tier positions. So each one of you crack some heads, create some earners out there.
I do not understand.
Oh, nobody knows what the I'm talking about.
Sir, the Federation...
I don't want to hear about the economy either. I don't want to hear it. What about...
The CNN news clip with Hakeem. Oh yeah, the left definitely gonna lose with a couple of comedy. Hold on, let me run that back.
That cares to negotiate in good faith at all, because it sounds like months ago posted pictures from your meeting in the Oval Office where he, I guess, apparently tried to hand you Trump 2028 hats. Then he posted another video, an AI video.
Yo!
Of you in a sombrero once again. This time he's in the background. You see it, the audience can see it there, as a mariachi band. I think the question I have for you is, do you think that this is even a White House, a president that cares to negotiate in good faith at all? Because it sounds like this meeting that you had this week has only resulted in trolling and not in any serious conversations.
Hey, the clip is pure political theater. Jeffries visibly uncomfortable, visibly not look weak. Even CNN's own polling shows voters doubting their strength. And that more than any stunt is what keeps Trump in control of the narrative. That's what's keeping him in control of the narrative.
The Democrats, in my mind, are facing more pressure, those Democratic leaders, and that is because their base thinks that their party leaders are weak. Look at this. Democrats on who has strong leaders. Look at this. 54% say neither party, 54% of Democrats say neither party has strong leaders. Among Republicans, 80% of their base thinks Republicans have strong leaders. Yet among Democrats, just get this, just 35% of Democrats say their party has strong leaders. When you add together this 54% with this 11%, we're talking about 2/3 of Democrats who say neither party or Republicans have stronger leaders, as compared to just 35% who say their own parties have strong leaders. As I said at the top, weak is how Democrats view their leaders in Washington.
Yeah, so when your base believes your leaders are weak, no amount of press conference fury fixes that. Why? Because voters watch actions, not adjectives. When cities descend into crime and chaos and the response is safe spaces while police budgets get kneecapped, people infer priorities. When the party's response to a budget fight is to pre-spin a shutdown and then turn around and flirt with a shutdown, people infer gamesmanship. I think we all know what time it is when it comes to these Democrats. We understand where their loyalty lies, which is their new voter bloc, which is illegal immigrants. They want mass amnesty for these people. That's what they want. And the people are starting to wake up. You have Black people in Black communities, like out in Chicago, out here in the Baltimore area, out in the DC area, waking up and realizing that, wait, the resources that could come to us has actually been diverted to illegal immigrants. The resources that you said didn't exist, y'all found a way to support people that shouldn't be here. You have poor white people that, in some cases, they were in some liberal areas that have realized that, hey, they moved these folks into our community. And they told us there was no resources for us, but they found resources for illegal immigrants. The Democrat Party, they believe that they do not need the Black vote anymore. They believe that they don't need the poor white vote anymore, because they've brought over anywhere between 11 and 30 million people that they hope will get amnesty, and they hope that these people will take care of them. Now, I got to tell you guys, man, 2026 is important, extremely important. There are 35 seats up for grabs in the Senate. There's 2 special elections, and there's 33 seats that are open. Unfortunately, out of the 35 seats that are open, none of them are here in Maryland, unfortunately. Ben Holland's going to be in office until 29. Alicia Alciobrook is going to be in office until 2030, unfortunately. So for us out here in Maryland, we don't have a real way to sway things, not from a Senate seat perspective. But there are some of you guys that are living in states that have Senate seats up for grabs right now. And Gavin Newsom talked about this, or he tweeted it out. Hey, the Republicans, they got the House, they got the Senate, and the White House. They can do anything. and that's a lie. Things can get through the House. We got the right majority in the House. Things can get through in the House, but we don't have the proper majority in the Senate. You need 60 votes in the Senate to get anything accomplished. Right now, the Republican Party has 53 Senate seats. So in order to really get anything accomplished, you gotta get 7 Democrats to cross the aisle. That's been a challenge. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in right now. I'm with term limits on the Senate. I'm with term limits in the House. I am with it 100%. That.
All right, bet he's right. All right, so really, we hold on to the House. We really need 7 Senate seats so we can get past legislation through the House and the Senate. And he is right. The midterms, 2026, that's the next battleground, bro. We need to win these midterms because, as you could see, these left-wing Democrats are out of their goddamn mind. Let's do let's do some of this 𝐔𝐸𝐶. Secretary of War addressing all of the generals here with Trump.
No more beards, long hair, superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty, in the field, and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join special forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans. But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards. Both are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over. No more beardos. The era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done.
The thing that Pete Hegseth said today about no more beardos in the military, it's just a way for him to be racist and also Islamophobic without saying it. So the majority of shave chits are given for 2 reasons: for medical
Septum ring theory
reasons and for religious exemptions. A lot of Black people who have facial hair suffer from a condition called pseudofolliculitis barbate. I finally said it right. It's a condition where if you shave the hair, when it grows back, it's curly, so it can go back into your skin and cause an ingrown hair, and it's incredibly painful. So they can get a medical waiver for a no shave chit so that they don't have to suffer from a painful rash on their face. And the religious exemption should be obvious. They want a Christo-fascist nation. Pete Hegseth is part of a Calvinist Reformed church run by Doug Wilson. So he wants people.
These liberal white women got the battery and everybody back. They just come on social media, say something, and wait for everybody else to jump in front of it and carry it. Y'all got to stop getting used like sock puppets by these liberal women with septum rings, bro.
Only of that particular Christian faith to be in the military. If you think that's okay, just remember that any group that's based on excluding people will only exclude more people, and that'll eventually include you.
All right. Well, you agree with her on the beard thing for razor bumps? I don't know. The way I see it, Black men been in the military since Civil War, World War I, World War II. Then they survived with that beard exemption, without the beard exemption.
Guys, so once again, we got to talk about the liberal left losing their minds over something that President Trump said or did, or something that.
Yeah, I've been saying this for like 2 years. Everything's racist until nothing's racist. And then when the thing is actually racist, it can't be racist because everything's racist. Do you know what I'm saying? You said it's not a frontline issue by far. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, everything's right. Yeah, until it's not. Because actual racist stuff does happen. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's the Chicken Little theory and the sky is falling thing. Exactly, no news. Razor bumps come down to technique in most cases. I've served 22 years and I figured it out. My dad was a Marine. I got a big beard like my dad. Like exactly. Yeah.
That one of his cabinet officials said or did, because at this point, they literally have nothing except Trump derangement. They don't stand for a damn thing except being against Trump. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay. President Trump came out here and said eating shit is bad for your health, right? You shouldn't eat shit. Okay. Democrats, liberals, leftists will be on the internet eating shit sandwiches, right? They would have shit eating contests, right? They would have a mouthful of dookie. And Trump said, don't eat shit, right? That's how.
Facts, Lord Love Smith. Yeah, tea tree oil is good for razor burns and bumps. Yup, I use tea tree oil.
Trump to raise their art at this point. And I think stories like this are exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Because 𝐷𝐎𝐿, the Secretary of War, which triggers Democrats, that the administration changed the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, right? 𝐷𝐎𝐿 gave a speech in front of some of the nation's top generals. And he basically fat shamed some of these generals, saying that, listen, we have standards, right? And if I'm going to be in shape, okay, as the leader of the military, then you guys have to be in shape too, right? We have to uphold a certain standard, a certain amount of professionalism, and show discipline, okay? Because apparently under the Biden administration, under the leadership of Democrats, the military is lacking discipline, right? And you know, personally, I see no problem with this whatsoever, right? You know, I think that fat shaming is good, right? I think we need more fat shaming. Stories of the week.
With physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already.
I say, Michael, to begin with, that we've created a bridgehead over the Rubicon. It's not just crossing it. We've put some things on the other side in a big way. You asked if I'm talking to him. I am. I won't talk about those conversations that I've had with active duty members of the military, but the ones I've talked to are insulted by what happened today.
There we go. Oh, these old generals and old bureaucrats. And the military has deteriorated under their watch. Of course they're upset. No News said, I like what 𝐷𝐎𝐿 is doing. Appearance, physical fitness standards, and trans soldiers is a product of Obama. Yup. I posted a 2016 Army memo on the community tab, on my community tab. He said chairborne ranger equals Air Force. That's mad funny. A lot of black men in the military want to practice individuality, and the military, is not the place to practice their individuality. It's a uniform force for a reason, exactly. And you get more and more of these black men joining the military from single mother homes, and they come in there with that. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna do what I want. Yeah, if you want to be an individual and have an identity, military is not the place for you, bro.
Especially the women that I've talked to. Some of the women that I've spoken to. I know.
Lieutenant General Mark Hertling, former commanding general of the U.S. Army in Europe. He said, and he's letting you know that the women's feelings were hurt.
Know the men and women that were in that room. Many of them work for me. I haven't been retired that long.
And so the reports are that the generals were disgusted and they resented being used.
David Pakman, it has been verified that he receives a tremendous amount of USAID money and Democrat money. I think when it was exposed at the time, he was getting paid $15,000 a month.
This props by Donald Trump. Now, let me tell you why this matters so much. In every authoritarian system, there's a really important question. Does the dictator...
Look at this pencil neck geek. And he's giving you his opinion on how things should be in the military. Look how skinny his neck is.
Have the military on their side, or is the military against them? If the brass of the military is on your side, you can get away with almost anything. If the brass is laughing at you behind...
I can't even stand listening to these soy boy liberals.
By the way, if war can do regular hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are.
I find this shit so weird, right? Because you could have some brilliant military mastermind that understands like the chess of the battlefield, right? And he could be overweight.
You hear this guy, the chess of the battlefield. Do you want to be taking your military cues from these weirdo soy boy liberals? And that's kind of what the problem is. Quiet Storm says Keisha will get pregnant on purpose to avoid going on deployment. Lord of Brooklyn says this is the guy being paid $8 grand. Yep, $8 grand a month to repeat talking points. Yep. This cuck hasn't done push-ups in his life. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I really like what 𝐔𝐶EF is doing, and he's the right guy to do it. Trump is very good at playing to image. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, playing to image and seeing how things play in the media and whatnot. 𝐔𝐶EF is the perfect person to push this initiative, especially since there's already all this previous footage when he took over as what's the Department of War now, as he took over as head of the DOD, out with the troops doing PT with them in the morning.
Like, why does that matter to you? It almost reminds me of like the Joe Rogan theory of medicine, where he's like, if that doctor's out of shape, I'm not fucking listening to them. I know better than them. Like that, and it's like a dumb guy's reaction to the world, right?
Even these liberal talking heads that they pay to push propaganda, even they don't have any argument. They're paying them to push these non-existing talking points. And it all boils down to sign language.
Has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department. We are done with that. It's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, And yes, they can put their hands on recruits.
Why is he obsessed with fat?
Yeah, and fitness and
Anyway, this was
Wow.
Did you hear that? Why is he obsessed with fat and fitness? This is the military. This nation has become soft, bro. This nation has become, and the perfect example, you got a bunch of old liberal Karens making commentary about the state of politics, the military, etc., and the country bending to it or being socially engineered to it. And that's why this country is weak. And I'm with Trump and 𝐔𝐶𝐹 on this one. Start with the military.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Are you telling me that these people don't understand how important it is to be in shape, right, in the military? Right? I'm just saying, again, I haven't served in the military, but I do think just using common sense that it is important considering how, if you are fighting in combat, that, you be in shape. And even as a general, you're somebody that is supposed to be setting the standard, right? Yeah, being fat probably is not a good look, right? It's probably not a good example to be setting for the people that you're supposed to be leading. Now, again, I'm trying to figure out what is the problem, right? I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is the problem here.
just the opening act because Trump took the stage after he did, and I think he's still talking right now. But take a look.
If you want to do anything you want, you can do anything you want. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank, there goes your future. We went, in a way, woke. That was probably the first sign of wokeness. And we changed it to defense instead of war. And I said, what do you think? How do you think if we changed it back? Would that be a nice idea? I thought it would be met with fury on the left, but they're sort of giving up, I must be honest with you. They've had it. They've had it with Trump. You don't have to be that good with nuclear. You could have 1/20th what you have now and still do the damage. I can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N word. There are two N words, and you can't use either of them.
Now, how do you think the highest?
That N word right. Trump is.
Yo, Trump is hilarious, bro. There's two M words, so you can't use either one of them. That's funny as shit. No news, not just fat. Too many weak troops. With all that gear and weapons, I weighed about 300 pounds. If I get hurt, just leave me. I know this generation couldn't carry me. How about that? Real men can imagine Biden on the podium talking right about now. Yeah, testosterone is down to dangerous levels, man. Yo. No, but I agree. I'm with this whole 𝐔𝐶𝐹 initiative 100%. Yeah, I grew up in a military family, so a lot of this, to me, is a no-brainer. Now, let's do a quick news break. I'm gonna load up these AI segments.
White liberal news. Say my name 3 times and a waitress magically appears, shaking in fear. Many have been saying the Democrat Party needs to reach out to men. So today we're helping with our special report. It's our duty as an unbiased source of news to help the Democrats as much as we can, along with 90% of media and social platforms.
Up first, we talk to our favorite token Latinx representative, Lisa Lopez Cuerpazo.
When I serve drinks, I learned what men like. So let's make men drunk and dance for them. Maybe then they'll come back to the party? Well, LLC, I will never understand why Latinx women tolerate the male gaze. Many Latinas voted the wrong way, so clearly misogyny runs deep. So, Mexico literally has a woman president. No offense, LLC, but this is to help the Democrat Party. We haven't listened to Latinx before, and we won't start now. But thanks for your input. For a more ground roots perspective, we go to Laura She/Her to see what Democrats can learn.
At Karen, Laura, she/her, as someone who is heterosexually antagonistic, I have insight into what masculinity is.
So to help the Democrat Party with their young male problem, we're going to solicit opinions from a wide variety of middle to upper class white people. Laura, she/her. So why do you think young men are turning away from the Democrat Party?
Well,
Laura, she/her. Were you just about to mansplain? So you seriously voted the wrong way. I can't even deal with your internalized misogyny right now. Begone that. Laura, she/her. I totally agree. 100%.
Yes, Mary, she/her. It's all sexist. She/her, misogyny.
She/her.
Uh-oh, I was afraid of this. I think they've nodded in a two-person echo chamber.
Laura, she/her, right-wing/her, late-stage capitalism.
We can't break them apart until the feedback loop stops.
Yes, Mary, she/her, hate speech/her, MAGA/her.
The only good trait of masculinity is the one that serves us. Everything else is toxic. For example, stoicism, what the hell is that about? But let's be honest, toxic masculinity is only an issue we have with white men. So for the perspective of our favorite token community, we go to 𝐷𝐿.
So, Karen, I don't know what y'all want me to do here. I don't think I'm qualified.
Don't say that. We lower the standards for everyone who isn't a white man, and so I'm sure you're fine.
Karen, we not GOP people, so there really ain't no point to this.
This is white liberal news. The point is to make us feel better.
Someone shot somebody. But I don't see anything, and this cameraman doesn't either. Isn't that right?
Great job. See? Your instinct to ignore actual danger and what your eyes can plainly see make you a great liberal journalist. We're doing this whole thing so the Democrat Party can learn something. I know this sweater isn't flattering, but it avoids the male gaze. No discussion about men or politics would be complete without the input from a woman who gets paid millions to play pretend.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about Netflix's Black Cleopatra. Just like I don't need some 40-year-old black woman telling me what didn't work for her about any Wes Anderson movie. None of those were made for her, clearly. That's when the 40-year-old white dude can speak.
It is our honor to welcome the first female actor to do everything in film.
I'm no expert on men, but I know everything important. For instance, men never like female action protagonists.
Yes, you were the first female action lead. So what do you think the Democrat Party can do?
I think the party needs minor adjusting. See, I adopted 2 brothers from Africa, and in a few months they will be sisters. We like men on our side since they're more submissive. But wouldn't it be better if they were surgically emasculated? And if every man is a woman, then every leader is a woman, and then everything will be good.
Thanks for your time. As someone with more money than generations of working class Americans, I hope the Democrats learn something from you. So do we need men? As an intelligent woman from The View says, men are useless. Excuse me. So,
and afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger. Namely, this is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television. And there's more, because you are going to see it as well.
Yes, it.
Yes, it.
Yes.
Namely, the Max Headroom story. And afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger. Namely, this is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced.
All right, bet that news break, that news clip is that liberal white media news. That shit is hilarious, right? Yo, AI is starting to be undefeated. All right, let's get into this. I wanted to cover this because this is actually, I think this is part of some of the conversation Theo was having when we talk about AI in the class. And this one is falling behind. Chilling warning issued about China's AI reach. Let's go.
And open training data, and the U.S. is largely and majority focused on closed weights, closed data. That means that the majority of the world, think of it as the Belt and Road Initiative, are going to use Chinese models and not American models. We better also be competing with the Chinese in day-to-day stuff. Their work ethic's incredible. They're well-funded. It's not the crazy valuations that we have in America. Right. They can't raise the capital, but they can win across that.
Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt giving a chilling warning if America does not rethink its AI.
They didn't decided to make her the. I guess she's doing all the ChatGPT research. They decided to make her the talking host for all these AI issues. You seen her stumbling over all the AIC agentic agent news the other night, talking about MCP servers, and she was trying to explain it, reading off of her ChatGPT. Generated notes. She didn't know what the hell she was talking about, bro.
Strategy fast, China could control the future of artificial intelligence. And while he pushes for a new game plan, companies like OpenAI and NVIDIA are throwing billions of dollars to keep the U.S. ahead in the AI race. But critics argue it looks more like a hype bubble than an actual strategy. Both of those things can be true at the same time. Chris, how do you differentiate what is going on? And I don't know if Eric Schmidt is actually the voice of knowledge on this, because quite frankly, Google, which he ran, is really struggling with an AI strategy. I know that they have plenty of money to burn, but what they destroyed their search business, and it's just a morass. It's called the inovocation of their customers. But I digress. But how do you see this world and put Schmidt's comments in perspective?
I would offer two observations. The first is when you look at the domestic industries within China, it's a reason why the market there has been so hot for 2 years. I mean, the Chinese stock market has outperformed the NASDAQ over the last 2 years because Chinese tech, Chinese semis, Chinese software has really been the baton leader of the move that you've seen there. So certainly there's some protection of the domestic industries in that part of the world that seem to be reflective in the prices of the stocks. I say second, when we think about the AI landscape domestically, I'm still very reminded of what the internet landscape looked like 97, 98, 99, 2000, that we would not know who would become the great internet companies of the true internet cycle. And nor do I think we know who are going to be the great AI stocks of this cycle. I think that's to come.
Yeah, I mean, and that competition ultimately, I believe, is good, even if it does come from companies in China. You're going to get better competition, more innovation. You know, the thing is, because China lacks so much of the intellectual property protection that is afforded in the U.S., my guess is that you might see some technology developed in China, but it'll ultimately come to fruition and come to market in the U.S., which has those protections on intellectual property.
He just said absolutely nothing. And look at that look on his face when he looks over. Hey, how did that sound? He said absolutely nothing. Yo, shout out to Red Lion with the $5 super chat. He said, show him my support. Yo, appreciate you, bro. Let's do a drop.
Transfer complete. USS Enterprise now under command of Captain Tony Soprano.
Now get the out of here. Captain's log. I'm currently trying to change my business profile, if you know what I mean.
There's the money. You're supposed to be earners. That's why you got the top tier positions. So each one of you crack some heads, create some earners out there.
I do not understand.
Oh, nobody knows what the I'm talking about.
Sir, the Federation...
I don't want to hear about the economy either. I don't want to hear it.
What about impulse control?
Yo, what up, Saul? Yo, salute, Playboy. All right, let's play the rest of this.
I don't know if Schmidt's right. I'm with you. I don't know if he's right, if I should believe his foresight on this. But if he's, to borrow de Blasio's phrase, directionally correct on this, does it sort of indict the top-down nature by which a lot of the artificial intelligence work is being done in the U.S.? In other words, we don't have any capital constraints. We're like doing this unconstrained. So much money, so much brain power going into artificial intelligence to create the big thing that's, that artificial general intelligence, right? That's what everybody here is pursuing. Are the constraints in China, because they're not top-down led, actually causing companies there to create more usable stuff that's going to have a bigger impact on people's lives? Like, are we actually pursuing like a China strategy here, and they're pursuing a more entrepreneurial, more constrained strategy?
Yeah, Brian, it's a great question. And I think when you look at the history of China, basically post-WTO, it has been central planning. It's been government planning, right? And I think what you have to say here about AI, let's have the U.S. government buy the coffee and the donuts and then step aside, right? If we're truly going to win the AI race, we do not want government's fingerprints on it. You'll get worse outcomes. The history of capitalism has shown us that. So I think it's best for the U.S. government to step aside, let the Chinese make the mistakes they typically make, which is central planning.
Yeah, I mean, the most prosperous country has always been the most free, especially when it comes to something like technology. I mean, no other country in the world can even hold a candle to our technology sector.
This guy is absolutely horrible. I've got to fill up my time slot with word salad because I'm completely out of my depth in this segment.
It's not. I don't think it's any surprise. It's one of the least regulated sectors of the entire American economy.
I'm on board with the theory that we have to do it and we have to do it first, because even in the infancy of AI, I see things online that scare me. I see memes or different things. I'm sorry, I'm calling it a meme. Maybe it's not a meme, but they're digitally artificially created images that I can't tell the difference of whether it's real or not in some cases. And there is a danger element to all of this too, that I think we've sort of got to get our heads around before they get access to the technology. But then I also think about TikTok and the deal that was just done and how valuable that algorithm was. I don't think everything is going to just be, able to be copied.
Servers that people are using that are like apps and agents that you just plug in to your like large language model, like 𝐷𝐿, for example, and you just plug in to all of these different agents and apps that it's in essence an app that lets your 𝐷𝐿 interact with.
Yo. It's so funny watching these finance guys talk about technology when they're so out of their depth. I really wanted the Eric Schmidt spiel at the beginning, and then let's go back to this. Let me play this next. And what's driving AI investments? Let's do that one.
Overhyped, can't return money. Now, we know information processing and equipment software, 4% of GDP. Here's the rub, though, 92% of GDP growth. So here you have the first half this year. You can see the spike. It's pretty obvious. But real GDP, if you were to take this out, barely growing, folks. This is more powerful than consumer spending right now. There is no doubt AI is a juggernaut, the likes of which this generation has never, ever experienced before, hence all the questions. Of course, there are questions about financing. People are concerned about it. Some say that it kind of reminds them of the gimmicks we saw during the dot-com bubble. Listen, doubt has been spreading recently like wildfire everywhere, but you can see the investment is still where the investments are. I'm going to bring in Spear Invest founder, chief investment officer, Ivana Delevska. So listen, we know billions, maybe trillions of dollars pouring into all of this. You've made people a ton of money on it, but now there's doubts about whether it will ever play out to its maximum potential.
So thanks for having me, Charles. I think we're on a new wave ahead of a new wave of investment in AI driven by the agentic revolution, right? So what we've seen so far in the first wave was mostly targeting chat and search related use cases. Now we are ahead of this new wave, and this is why you're seeing the investments going from a few $100 million to billions of dollars.
Right. So here, last week, David Einhorn said, okay, using the Gartner hype cycle, this is where we are. See that peak of inflated expectations? That's where we are, and we're going to plunge through a trough of disillusionment. And if that's the case, the stocks that are all involved in this may make the same move. Are you worried about this?
So first, Charles, we disagree that we are at the peak of inflated expectations. If you look at expectations, for example, for NVIDIA, it's barely for 8-10% growth for the next 5 years, right? And we can see what the orders are for the next 5 years. So we have pretty good visibility for the next 3 to 5 years in terms of what projects are coming online, what are the use cases, and so on. But where the uncertainty is, what happens after the 5 years, right? Do you actually have these AI agents be useful? And this is where I think picking the right companies is going to be key.
All right, because again, 2 weeks ago, MIT said so far only 5% of companies said they're getting any kind of economic benefit. You brought up NVIDIA. People are saying, okay, they're doing some kind of shell game here. NVIDIA pledges $100 billion to OpenAI. OpenAI signs a $300 billion deal with Oracle. Oracle commits $440 billion to buy NVIDIA chips. They're just saying it's one of the old school, like if you go on the corner of Times Square, one of the shell games. Is it?
Well, it definitely sounds like it. However, I would say that NVIDIA has been doing this, supporting the ecosystem for the past 15 years. So they basically invented AI, and they've been trying to develop use cases and support companies to be able to come up with new products. So while I don't think it's necessarily a positive, I think the stock was up on the OpenAI announcement, it's not necessarily a negative because you are going to need to invest trillions of dollars.
So in a way, it might be a smart business decision.
That's right. So it's basically a good business decision for them because they're diversifying slightly further down the road while we like their current business.
Everyone's got to go to your site, spear-invest.com, because you make these amazing flow charts. I love them. One area that you do like is the cybersecurity area, right? You say that's a great place to be. We're going to pull up some names because there's a lot there. We want to be more specific. Rubrik is a name that I've played here, occasionally. You've mentioned Zscaler a few times. CrowdStrike, we've talked about a lot. Talk about Rubrik because I don't think most people watching know the stock.
So Rubrik, Charles, is a new IPO this year. And they basically play on the data side of cybersecurity. So they're going to be the backbone for a lot of what Zscaler and CrowdStrike does. So they're slightly different than Zscaler, which plays on the networking side, and then CrowdStrike plays on the endpoint side.
All right, and real quick, you say buy the dip on the networking. There's a value chain, but you say buy the dips. You got a couple of names there. We're going to just pull them up real quick. We run out of time, but I want people to see this because you have been fantastic. You've helped me make people money, all right? Now, these both have been hot stocks. I talked about Credo earlier today. I guess the caveat here is that they can be extraordinarily volatile.
So they're volatile, not so much Arista, but Credo is very volatile. And the reason for the recent pullback is now people are worried that Intel is going to be all of a sudden getting into every business and disrupting the value chain. Right. We don't think it's going to come that fast. So we still see pretty attractive opportunity here and decent entry points post this recent pullback.
Ivana, you're the best. Thank you.
All right, spot on. I wanted to cover that in case any of you guys are trying to buy additional AI stocks while you're stacking up on crypto. There's only so much NVIDIA you can buy or what have you. And I actually thought she was spot on. I actually went to her site and looked at she's a money manager and looked at some of her stock picks and the breakdowns from the flow charts. She may be onto something. In terms of ecosystem, what have you. All right, let's let me see, what do I got? Let's do our guy in Iowa because I wanted to cover this and I didn't get a chance to cover it the other day and then I was out. yesterday. Let's do our guy who was the superintendent getting deported in Iowa, because this is a crazy story. It turns out he didn't even have any of the credentials he had and got hired. So I'm going to do that segment, and then we're at the 127. I'll have he say it sounds like you're trying to steer us in the wrong direction from AI stocks. Nah, not at all. You gotta do your own research, Playboy. Let's go. Yeah, so let's do this superintendent guy.
Just what is going on with the Des Moines public school system? For starters, the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division is looking into alleged race-based discrimination in hiring for Des Moines public schools, which it says violates federal law. But really, that news is just the cherry on top. The district of 30,000 students is already swept up in uncertainty surrounding its now former school superintendent. Ian Roberts stepped down earlier today after he was arrested by ICE on Friday. Roberts is a native of Guyana and a former Olympic athlete who has served Des Moines Public Schools since 2023. A noon deadline came and went for Roberts to confirm his citizenship to the school board. The story is fast becoming a legal nightmare for Roberts and a PR nightmare for the people who hired him. News Nation's investigative correspondent Rich McHugh has been digging into Roberts' record and found that some things are not adding up.
Right? How are you? It's unusual for ICE agents to arrest Midwestern school superintendents, and it's even more unusual for those superintendents to be found in possession of a loaded handgun, a fixed-blade hunting knife, and thousands of dollars in cash. But the case of Ian Roberts is anything but usual.
It's complex, it's difficult, and there are a lot of what I would call a myriad of issues that are involved.
When the news broke that ICE arrested Roberts initially,
Let me stop you right there, bro. When you got one of these old fried chicken Negro attorneys, sounding like he just escaped the civil rights zone. That's your attorney? You in bad shape, buddy. You in bad shape.
Are involved.
When the news broke that ICE arrested Roberts initially, Des Moines School Board Chair Jackie Norris called for radical empathy.
Are you still calling for radical empathy, and is the board taking any responsibility for his hiring?
There was nothing in the information that was given to us to allude to any question about his citizenship.
One question raises another, and straight answers are in short supply. Where was Roberts born? When a reporter asked him last year, he dodged the question.
Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Sure. Yeah. So both parents are from Guyana, South America. So I spent most of my formative years between Guyana and Brooklyn, New York.
ICE says he entered the U.S. on a student visa in 1999 and received a removal order in May 2024. Athletic competition records cite his birth date as December 18th, 1973. But court records and his 2017 marriage certificate list December 18th, 1970 as his birth date. His voter registration in Maryland says 1970. Roberts' academic record even more confusing. His LinkedIn, an impressive number of schools, a bachelor from Coppin State University, master's degree, St. John's, Morgan State University. For years, he went by doctor. St. John's confirmed he got a master's, but not a doctorate degree. His official bio says he completed programs at Morgan State. But Morgan State tells us no, quote, Ian Roberts did not receive any degree or certificate from Morgan State University.
And you see what just happened on his LinkedIn? Bro, when I started applying for gigs after I left Santander, maybe 2 years ago or so. I've been employed the last 13 years in banking. And I'm applying for jobs and they wanted to see my high school diploma and my actual degree from my college, from my university. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, when you ever need this stuff to apply for a gig, run my VOE, run my verification of employment and stuff like that. all my stuff should come up. You know what I'm saying? And now I understand why these employers, they want to see the actual physical copies of your degrees and stuff like this from all these illegals over here with fake documents, fake LinkedIn profiles, and fake degrees, screwing up the employment market.
Roberts left his last position at Mill Creek High Township in Pennsylvania for the job here. In a note, Mill Creek Township says he passed all clearances, including an FBI background check. But in 2020, at the time of his hiring in Mill Creek, the school board there raised questions about his background, according to minutes of their board meetings we obtained. Dr. Roberts lacked the educational certificate from his educational facilities that he obtained his doctorate. You referred to him as Dr. Roberts. Can you tell us which institution he received his doctorate from?
Yes, it was, I know it, the international school, Trident International, right?
Trident International University, an online university. As many in the community rally around his case in solidarity, some parents with kids in the district have had enough.
Even if you take, was he here legally or not, when he was stopped and then he took off and he fled, and then they found a loaded gun, a fixed blade knife, and $3,000 in cash in his car, that enough is, I'm done.
That mom, Jen Cronin, says instead of radical empathy from the school board, she wants to see radical transparency and accountability. Ian Roberts, his attorney, says he's working to have his deportation order stayed and wants to reopen his immigration case. Elizabeth?
Is he still there, Rich? Where is he tonight?
It's unclear. We believe he is in a jail here in Des Moines, but even his attorney alluded to the fact that it's possible he is not.
Okay, and super quick, we mentioned he was an Olympic athlete. Which country did he compete for?
Guyana, South American country of Guyana.
All right, so that would seem to clear up at least when he wouldn't answer where he was born. This is the strangest story, Rich. Keep on it and let us know what you find out. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
All right, bet we're at the 1 hour 35-minute mark. I'm gonna do we don't got time to do Mark, but I want to look at some numbers. So let's do what do Americans think of ICE? Harry Eaton over at CNN. And I like these Harry Eaton segments on CNN because they're the Communist News Network, and it's to Harry's credit, even though according to Mark, some of his source and data material be dodgy. His numbers generally play out correctly and are in line with what Mark has going over there at Rasmussen. But I just like Harry delivering the bad news to the liberals right in their friggin' faces. Let's go.
All right, the city of Portland, the state of Oregon, suing the Trump administration to block deployment of hundreds of National Guard troops to Portland. The president says he's doing it to protect ICE facilities. With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry. And the administration clearly thinks this is a winning issue for them as they keep on doing it and leaning in. What do the polls say?
Yeah, this is fact check time. You know, the idea, we're going to be hawkish on crime. We're going to be hawkish on immigration. It's good for us. But in fact, not necessarily. What are we talking about here? All right, Trump deploying National Guards to cities in the United States of America. Look at this. Just 42% of Americans support that idea of sending troops into cities like Portland. What about the opposition? Look at this. It's the lion's share. 58% opposed, and we're talking about 64% of independents who are opposed. So if Donald Trump thinks that potentially sending in the National Guard into cities like Portland is a winning political issue, the polling says, you are wrong, Mr. President.
The most analogous situation is what happened in Los Angeles, correct? What happened to the numbers there after the president did that then?
Yeah, we've heard this music before, right? We've heard this song before. And what happened the last time that Trump sent National Guards into a Western city. Well, take a look at the change in Trump's net approval. Overall, it dropped 4 points. How about on immigration, which of course those protests were about? Look at that. It dropped by 7 points. So we have history of Donald Trump sending the National Guard into a Western city. And what happened was there were clear political ramifications for the President of the United States, and they were not good ramifications. What happened was his overall approval rating dropped by 4 points, and his immigration approval, which had been his best issue up to that point, dropped by 7 points, went from net positive territory to net negative territory.
And in this case, he says he's doing it to protect ICE facilities, which brings us to the issue of ICE in general. What are opinions on this incident?
Yeah, so let's take a look at ICE approval. All right, ICE's net popularity rating. You know, in Trump's first term, it was at 0 points. Not too great, but not too bad either. But take a look now. Look at this. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that agency, look at that. Minus 14 points. Down it goes because of their actions during the second Trump term. In fact, the Pew Research Center polled 16 different agencies. ICE's net popularity rating was 15th out of 16th. It was close to being the least popular of all. This bottom line is, John, the president may think this is a politically winning issue for him, but the numbers tell a very different story. It's, in fact, a political loser.
Interesting. All right, Harry-Ann, thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Sarah.
All right, joining me now is Congressman Brad Schneider, Democrat of Illinois. Thank you so much for being here. You just heard that polling.
All right, so this is Harry's over at CNN. So remember those numbers when we who was CNN? Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. Who's CNN polling to get these numbers? That's why I said Mark says what does Mark say? Mark knows where Harry's pulls his data sets from, and a lot of times those are off. But I wanted to show that. So when we review Mark's numbers, I want to see how close they are in relation to that. I've been trying to play a lot of other stuff like Sky News, CNN, even NBC and stuff like. So I'm not. So I'm doing a well-rounded news analysis and stuff. So even stuff that we disagree with, we could watch it and we could see why. Basically, see why it's bullshit. Let's play some of this. Maybe I'll have a chance. Maybe I'll have a few minutes to play some of Mark's numbers on this. Let me check.
Trump is sending troops to Portland. He's also just increased the ICE presence for raids in your state. And he says he will send troops to Chicago at some point, although he had promised that before sending them to Portland right after he sent troops to Washington, D.C. How do you think the state and local government should respond?
Well, I think what you've seen in Chicago, Illinois, is the way we need to address it. The governor has been very clear. ICE is not welcome to do what they're doing here. They're literally going around terrorizing our communities, tackling people, bringing them to the ground, physical violence, terrorizing communities, not keeping the community safer, but actually making people scared and frightened. And with respect to the National Guard, the governor said they're not needed here. We've all been together on this. I visited Naval Station Great Lakes with Senator Durbin and Senator Duckworth to talk to the base, making sure that their mission of training our sailors is protected and not abused by the president. The bottom line is the president's trying to provoke violence. He's trying to create a situation where he can justify the actions he wants to take. It's a totalitarian.
Jesus, they have a hard time fitting in all of the DNC approved like talking points into their argument when they try to give their response. It's who's that? It's Osmond Gold. Yeah, they're doing the word count thing. I want to jump ahead to this government shutdown.
To help Republicans, at least 7 Democrats have to vote to help pass this continuing resolution. Then the president says he's going to do this mass firings, permanent firings of more federal workers. You know, President Trump and Republicans have been clear that they want a smaller federal government. Does this put Democrats in a lose-lose position here?
The only people losing are the American people. The president has been firing federal workers since the day he took office last January. And they've been going after the...
Yeah, because there's a mandate from the public to cut government spending, bloat, and to drain the swamp.
Department after department, the courts have questioned some of those or stopped some of those, and others they haven't put a restraining order, but said that they have concerns and are going to hear the cases. We have seen in departments like the VA and others where the administration has fired people, realized those people are necessary to do the work the American public.
So it says CNN is polling Bigfoot, ET, and UFOs. Yeah, you know what? And you know what's funny? A lot of times they report this stuff as if like people don't have access to social media, and you can't go on TikTok and YouTube Short, and see tons of people from those particular communities where ICE agents and federal agents and even National Guard were deployed, and people on the ground with their own phones, not talking to reporters, praising the efforts of this. And the results with DC in particular.
Deserves and demands, and they're rushing to try to rehire those people. Earlier in the show, you talked about the hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean. The president's been cutting the weather service that helps predict and protect Americans.
I don't even listen to CNN that much. I just go in and get stories and stuff that I need to pretty much laugh at. But man, when you actually listen to these segments all the way through, especially with the and with when they put the Democrats on, bro, it's like they're all reading from the same script. Now I understand like staying on message and what have you and whatnot, but so like when we watch people from Trump's cabinet, like Rubio, Vance, Hegseth, Tulsi, or whatnot, they stay on message in terms of like they're aligned with what the general policy initiatives are of the administration. But when you hear them talk on a particular issue, although they're on message in terms of they're aligned with the mission, you actually hear them giving responses that are their own thought out answers with regard to the questions. It's just that's not the same as having an actual script and word count where you have to make sure that you repeat the talking point of the day and the word of the day. Do you know what I mean?
In anticipating hurricanes, there are so many departments that this administration has diminished possibilities first. I pray we all want this war to end. We want the hostages home. Sees a different vision for the Middle East where Israelis.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I can't listen to these Democrats nonstop when they're answering these questions. We're at the 1 hour 45-minute mark.
And afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger. Namely, this is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television. And there's more.
All right, excellent. That's my time for this evening, man. I got marched by the numbers tomorrow on the shutdown, and I want to see if he did it by the numbers regarding ICE and National Guard deployment approval, so that we can compare against exactly word count, so that we can compare against that CNN poll that we just looked at. I think that CNN poll is 24 hours fresh. So excellent. Let me see. That is my time for the evening, gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming out supporting the stream. Let's go.
And afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger. Namely, this is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television.
Stewie.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter.
There it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Stewie Griffin. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.